Hello and welcome to the Maastricht edition. Today I'm going to be talking with Hugo Park, who has been a resident here in Maastricht for 10 years. But what's unusual about Hugo is that recently he's been doing a lot of running. He's been channeling his Forrest Gump and he's been doing 10,000 kilometres or 10 kilometres a day. 10,000 is probably stretching it a little bit. But Hugo, tell us a little bit about yourself before we start divulging exactly why you're doing this running. So you're a resident here in Maastricht now?
That's right, yeah. I'm a resident in Maastricht now. I came over here from London, where I originated from, to study at the Maastricht University, and largely to run away from home, of course. And yes, then I met my girlfriend, now fiance, and she's from here and has good job here, so we stayed, and I love the city. And yeah, since then I've done a lot of jobs, like working as a chef, but I finally found my real calling in working as a personal trainer.
Oh, fantastic. So you already had some background in fitness before you took on this challenge then, and running is something that you do on a regular occasion anyway?
I certainly do have a background in fitness and also, biology. I studied sciences at the university, so biology and anatomy and physiology. But actually, the challenge was really that I wasn't prepared. I've done a lot of strength training. That's really my kind of wheelhouse. That's where I've been comfortable since I was a teenager playing rugby. But yeah, I decided that now's the time to do something completely other and see if I can do it day after day and what actually happens. And yeah.
So this is for a particular reason, though. You're raising money for ocean cleanup. Why was it that you wanted to raise money for this particular organisation?
Well, the amount of plastic pollution in the ocean and in the waterways in general is an extremely critical issue. And the ocean cleanup, as far as I'm aware, are some of the only people who are coming up with real innovative solutions that are actually being implemented on a significant scale and that actually stand to make a real difference in that way. So yeah, pressing issue and a viable sort of bold solution. So yeah, I like that.
Fantastic. So 10 kilometres a day. I think for your average person, just doing one of those for one day is enough. But you decided to do this for 30 days. You started, was it 3 weeks ago now? You're in your last week coming up?
Right, yes.
So what's in comparison, I mean, I'm sure you're probably feeling a little tired now, but in comparison to the first day, have you noticed a change in yourself, in your fitness level and maybe your body shape at all?
I certainly have, yeah. I mean, the interesting part of the challenge for me was coming from the sort of background I have. It's always been a very sort of physiological approach, taking recovery into account. And I've heard lots of stories of people who, like Eddie Izzard, for example, who completely, threw that to the wind and did 23 marathons in 23 days. So I started getting interested in, well, there's clearly a big psychological component to this. And actually, what can we, if we just do it, and the results have been quite interesting. I've had things like shin splints, something called runner's knee. And these are conditions where they're not huge, serious injuries. But the advice is always that you have to stop doing whatever it is you're doing for a period of time up until, symptoms go away and you can carry on. But I've managed to actually push through, not just completely sort of pig-headedly, but by modifying the way I run and by making sure that I have a really good sort of recovery strategy involving lots of stretching and that kind of thing. And actually, whilst I am quite tired and I am sore in various different places, the strain seems to have moved around and not just being compounded and get exponentially worse. So that's really interesting, and I feel pretty fit at this point, actually. So that's good.
So you think you're going to keep doing this once you're finished?
I think I'm going to take a break after the end for a little while, but I would actually like to continue doing running every day, actually. Yeah, whether it's 10 kilometers or more or less, but yeah, certainly, actually. But
So when you do finish, I believe the plan is that if you actually reach the target that you've set yourself as far as raising money is concerned, that you might actually throw a marathon in as well.
That's the goal. Yeah, it's pretty bold, and it was one of those kind of slightly scary moments when I dropped that one on social media, because obviously, the furthest I ran before this was a half marathon, so it's 20 kilometers. And it was really rough. That was last year in Maastricht. And so on day 12, I just, out of the blue, I thought, I want to see how far I can go today. So I did 26, and I was pretty, pleased with that, needless to say. And so now my mindset is, I think I have to go out with a bang, and see really how far I can go. And I think a marathon is something that before I started this, I would have said, I need 6 months to train for that, or maybe a year. And so I think it would be really cool. But of course, the main thing is to hit the target amount. And I would love to do it. It would be great.
So where would you run the marathon?
I would do it in Maastricht. I think my current plan would be to create a circuit which would be very similar to my daily route. Basically, for a while I was mixing it up, but at a certain point, with the fatigue setting in, you just have to know where you're going. So I would do that, and do it in 4 goes. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to sort of come home and have a rest in between. I would do it like you would do a traditional marathon, where you have support and people, the opportunities to take on fluids and some sugars and things like that. Using home as a kind of pit stop.
So the routes that you've been taking around Maastricht, this is quite a nice way to explore the city, I would have thought.
It's been brilliant, and also doing it at this time of year. So we're going through, early spring to what now really feels like full summer. So I'm looking out the window there to my right, and seeing the seasons change, and with pandemic situation, of course, terrible as it is, I haven't managed to capitalize on it, because I've been able to run through the streets during the day and at really beautiful times, and there's been no one around. And it's really beautiful. I've really enjoyed it.
Have you got any favourite parts of the city?
I do, I love the Onze Lieve Vrouwenplein, and the Vrijthof on a cold spring morning when it's sunny is really nice. And of course the park, the Stads Park, and there around the St. Peter. It's really, I love all of that. Yeah.
So is there a particular time of day that you usually run?
I try to get it done first thing in the morning, ideally before I even have breakfast. That's the strategy I've got into lately. I feel good doing that. I don't feel weighed down. And then it's done. It's done and clear. And I feel really good the rest of the day, energized.
Yeah. So is this something that you would recommend for other people to do?
I can't, as a personal trainer, I can't recommend that people just pick up and go and start running 10 kilometers a day, because the risk of injury is high. As I said, I have incurred things like shin splints and runner's knee, and I have the knowledge that I have and the experience that I have to kind of adjust and manage things on the fly. Plus, it's my body, and I can damage it if I want to. But I would say I do encourage people to come up with some kind of daily challenge, and to do something that is more than they think that they can do, because that was the main thing for me, was that I didn't really think, or if you'd asked me a few months ago, I might have said, probably not. I think in 30 days of running like that, I'm probably gonna, succumb to injury, but I haven't so far. So my message would be, take on something that's a bit more than you think you can do.
Right. And as far as going forward, raising money for charity, is this something that you can see yourself doing again, maybe full marathons in different parts of the world?
Absolutely, no, I've definitely got it between my teeth now. It's really satisfying, and it gives you so much focus, as well. It's and it really makes it easier to have the discipline that you need, because it's bigger than just you. It's not just for your own I don't know, enjoyment or training or something.
And so every single time that you've been going out to do a run, you've been doing this on your own? You haven't had any company at all?
I've always done it on my own. And
so how is that to focus the mind?
Say that again, sorry?
How is that to focus the mind when you're on your own and thinking, right, I've got 10K in front of me every day?
Well, that really for me was the exciting part of the challenge, is learning to cultivate that kind of focus and that ability to do something that you don't want to do every day, or at least an hour. And it's hard. I'm not a natural endurance athlete, and for most of my life, I really have not enjoyed running. So it's that is definitely a huge part of it. But I really feel that it's been extremely beneficial because I certainly, when I compare that 26K I did on day 12 or so, when I was already feeling pretty tired, compared to the half marathon I did about a year ago, I mean, my attitude was just worlds apart. And I enjoyed it. It was tough, but I did actually relish it. Whereas before, I certainly did not.
No, not at all. Well, I think it's marvellous what you're doing. If people want to actually donate money to your given cause, the ocean cleanup, how do people go about it?
They can go to Facebook and find my page which is @Bridge Personal Fitness, and they're pinned to the top post. You'll see a post there with links and everything. You can also go straight to justgiving.com/fundraising/Hugo's Ocean Cleanup, and that takes you straight to the fundraising page. Those are the fundraising bits. And for my own shameless plug of my own business, because I've just restarted my website, that's at bridge.fitness, and there you can find my personal training.
Excellent. Well, we wish you the best of luck. 1 week to go?
Yeah, 1 week to go, and let's hope to, so the 4th of June is the end date, and I'm hoping that we can hit the target. It's not very far to go, 355, I think, euros, and then I'll do a marathon, and I'll, record it as best as I can, and, go out with a bang.
Excellent. Well, we'll put all your links onto our Facebook page, and on behalf of the Maastricht edition, we wish you all the luck. Thank you very much for joining us, Hugo.
Thank you so much, Joe. It's been a pleasure.